Hey guys, Dustin here. Welcome to another episode of Horroritis. In 1986, New Line Cinema tried to cash in on Warner Brothers' Gremlins success by making their own furry little eat-everything-in-sight creatures. Now the main difference here is that while we never really knew where the gremlins, or the little mogwai that spawned them for that fact, we never knew where they really came from, we know for a 100% certainty that critters come from space. The movie opens on a prison asteroid about to receive a ship full of prisoners known as the Krites. Now, right away we learn two things about these prisoners. One is that they eat so much that two of them actually had to be put down so there was enough food for everybody to make it to the prison. And two, they're going to be destroyed as soon as they get there. The Krites seem to know this because we see the warden, an alien on a flying platform, assigning more personnel to the Krites. And we see an assortment of aliens heading off in that direction right before a wall explodes. The Krites, who we still haven't gotten a good look at, break out, steal a ship, blow some stuff up, and disappear into space. The warden calls in some bounty hunters who have no faces and sends them out to look for the Krites.
I have a job for you.
Seriously, I swear I had glow-in-the-dark action figures that looked like that when I was a kid. So the bounty hunters also disappear off into space to search for the Krites and destroy them. Cut to Earth and we see the Brown family rushing around to get their day started. We see the mom, Helen, who's played by Dee Wallace, in the kitchen making breakfast. We see the son, Brad, in the bathroom, and he's running a thermometer under some hot water. We also see his sister April on the outside pounding on the door telling him to get the hell out of the bathroom so she can use it. And we see the dad, who's played by Billy Green Bush, in the basement working on something mechanical. After all the hustle and bustle, they all sit down to breakfast, and after a little more hustle and bustle, they all disperse. Cut to the police station where we meet Dispatcher Sally, played by Lynn Shay, and the Sheriff Harv, played by M. Emmett Walsh. We also meet Charlie, who's in the back sleeping off a drunken night in one of the cells. And when the sheriff goes back to wake Charlie up and send him on his way, Charlie tells him that he's getting alien messages through the fillings in his teeth.
They're coming, Harv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting them through my fillings just like last time.
The sheriff tells him just to forget about it, go out to work on the Browns' farm, and so he does. We can tell right here that Charlie's not exactly the quickest guy in town. Back in space, we see the bounty hunters receive a message from the warden. He tells them that they've tracked the Krites down to a solar system where only one planet supports life. Guess which one? Go on, guess. Little screens come down in front of their faces and show them everything they need to know about Earth in quick flashes. One of the bounty hunters stops his on a music video by Johnny Steele, played by Terrence Mann. As he's watching the video, his face starts to melt and reform into, you guessed it, Johnny Steele. Back on Earth, we see Brad and Charlie. Charlie's still talking about aliens, but the only thing Brad cares about is blowing stuff up with homemade fireworks. Now, Jay, the father, comes out and yells at Brad for playing with fireworks and yells at Charlie for not getting to work, so they disperse. Just then, a car comes up the drive and April gets out and introduces her father to her boyfriend, Steve. At the same time, Charlie's trying to fix Brad's slingshot. He takes a test shot at a can, but unfortunately that can now is right in front of where April is standing. So when Charlie takes the shot, April gets hit in the butt. Brad takes the blame for Charlie and, in return, gets sent to his room without dinner. That night, Brad crawls out his window and is climbing around on the roof. At the exact same time, his father's looking out the window, and also at that exact same time, on some deserted road, Charlie's riding his bike home. And they all together see something zip across the sky and crash into a field. Now, Brad and his father go off to see what it was, while Charlie rides off to try to find the sheriff. This brings us right up to where things are just about to happen, so let's get to it. When I first watched Critters, I didn't know why I liked it. I just did. It was fun, there were explosions, and the critters didn't look too bad. And coming back to it years later, I still like it. It's still fun, I still like explosions, and the critters still look pretty badass, even if not as real as little kid me used to think. This time around I get an extra bonus. I recognize people I like Dee Wallace, Terrence Mann, Lynn Shay, M. Emmett Walsh, Billy Zane. The reason the critters hold up so well after nearly 30 years is probably thanks to the Kyoto brothers who actually created them. Yes, that's the same Kyoto brothers who 2 years later would go on to make Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And you can kind of see the similarities between the critters and the clowns. I mean, they both walk that fine line between terrifying and adorable as hell. I mean, it's like you know that they'll eat your face off the first chance they get, but you still want to take them home and feed them cookies. But the reason that the critters are so great is not because they eat everything in sight. And it's not because they shoot poison quills. And it's not even because they look like tribbles with teeth. It's the language. That's right, these little guys can talk, and we even get subtitles so we know what they say. But critters aside, what makes this movie really great are the bounty hunters. Now, one of them gets mistaken for a rock star throughout the whole movie, and the other one can't find a form that works, so he takes the form of pretty much anyone he sees, and that causes quite a bit of confusion with the townspeople.
Get Bart.
Tooth problem.
Keep your shirt on, asshole.
And since this is their first time on Earth, you would expect them to be clumsy with things like driving and shotguns. And being bounty hunters, they only care about killing the Krites, so things like personal property don't really concern them. And neither does the safety of others.
I hope not your take over our operation.
Charlie, pull me down.
When they clear the Krites out of Brad's house, they just let him tag along. Now, any normal Earth human would make him stay back or hide somewhere safe, but these guys are just like, whatever, we're killing intergalactic criminals known for destroying everything they come into contact with. You go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do. Have fun, buddy.
Thanks.
And then in the end, when the Krites are destroyed, the bounty hunters are gone, we're pretty much guaranteed a sequel. And we get one. We actually got 3. And you can bet I'll be covering them. So that's it for Critters. There's so much awesome in this movie that I didn't even tell you about just because I don't want to ruin it for you. I want you to go see this movie. Let me just say that after you see Lynn Shay talking about John Travolta in the tabloids, you may not look at her the same again. She is awesome and hilarious. So if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. If you have seen this movie, go watch it again, because it's fun. And if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, because I've got more reviews coming for you. If you want to get a hold of me personally, you can hit me up in the comments below, or on Twitter or Facebook, both at The Horroritis. If you want to help support this channel and make it grow, click the Patreon link below, or go to patreon.com/horroritis, and consider donating literally anything to the channel. Every little bit helps, and whatever we get from there goes directly back into the channel to help improve quality in equipment and maybe add a few features here and there. So until next time, I'm Dustin, this was Horroritis, thanks for watching.